Hi guys, thank you so much for being here, and I'm going to teach you SQL, and for that I am going to use Microsoft SQL, so VDBMS. So there are a lot of different VDBMS like PG, Admin, MySQL, Oracle, and you can use them. Also I have PG Admin here, but I'm going to use Microsoft SQL Server. So first of all, I am going to walk you through SQL. So before getting into really long tutorial, so SQL is standard SQL, usually referred to simply as SQL, is a type of programming language called a query language. Query languages are used for communicating with a database. So it is used for adding, retrieving, updating data stored in a database. It is used across many different types of databases. So basically, what does SQL do? So you might ask this question to yourself. So what SQL does is that SQL does a lot of different things, but basically SQL can execute queries against a database, retrieve data, insert records in a database, update records in a database, or create sort procedures, create weaves in a database, set permissions on tables. And there are much things that you can do in SQL. Yeah, and if you just want to dive into data analysis and data visualizations, I think you need to know SQL because it might push your limits to really find a really great job, and I think it's really great. So first of all, I would like to talk to you about difference between Tsql and SQL. So the obvious difference is in what they are designed for. SQL is a query language used for manipulating data stored in database, like I mentioned before, but Tsql is also a query language, but it is an extension of SQL that is used by Microsoft SQL Server. So um, Microsoft company created Tsql, which is SQL extension. So there is of course difference between Tsql and SQL, and one of them is, let's say you just want to, this is my schema and this is my table. Don't worry about this. I'm gonna walk you through everything. So I'm going to retrieve all these columns and rows from production.products table. So, but I want to retrieve the first two columns, two rows. And if I execute this, and as you can see, task means I just want to uh, sort them in descendingly. So it's so, as you can see, the first row is 321 and the other one 320. So let's say ask ASC and execute this, and as you can see 1 2. So but I am going to leave it desk. So retrieve this, and this is my two rows, but let's do it in PG admin, and PG admin is using SQL. So select asterisk from Danish basket order by ID desk and limit 2. Limit 2 means in TSQL just top 2. There is no much different, but of course there is difference between TSQL and SQL. So I think it's enough about TSQL and SQL. So what we are going to cover in Microsoft SQL Server, which is another VDBMS. So we are going to first of all cover DDL, data definition language, how to alter table, and how to insert data in a database, or how to query any data. So we are going to do a lot of things. So the other thing, data manipulation language, like select, order by, where, null, between, like, column, table alias, joins, inner join, left join. We are going to cover all these things. Also, we're gonna connect to Microsoft SQL Server from Python using PyODBC library. So it's really great. And also we might use pandas in Python. So we might retrieve data from SQL to Python, and data frame we can then converted to CSV format or XLSX format or JSON format. We are going to cover everything about SQL and retrieving data, migrating data, and we are going to do a lot of things. So this is the first review of the SQL. So I think you might, you might think that, oh my God, there are a lot of things, but don't worry, we are going to cover everything. So we are going to do it together. So without you guys, I cannot do anything. So I hope you can enjoy my videos and watch my videos. And I would like you to subscribe to my channel and hit that button. And thank you so much. This is gonna be my first video, and I hope I can keep updating and publishing much video about SQL and also Python. So we'll see. And when we're done with this tutorial, it's gonna take time, but you're gonna understand most of SQL, because SQL is, learning 50% of SQL might take you maybe a week, but the other 50% of SQL is gonna take much more time. So thank you so much for being here, guys. See you later, and take good care of yourself.